Absolutely. So back to initially when I was talking about all the new burdens on our bodies. So we have EMFs, which are electromagnetic forces all around us. Wi-Fi, cell phones, all these like wireless games that kids are playing. A lot of the symptoms from EMF toxicity are very mimicking to ADHD. So inability to sleep, poor attention, poor behavior, like all these kind of symptoms mimic each other a lot. So what I always recommend is in all children's bedrooms, turning off wireless routers at night, making sure there's no like alarm clocks and bright lights in the room, cleaning up the air as best as possible. Kids not having cell phones is so important. I can't even stress it enough. Literally, this, I know, the direct, like look how close I am to my brain, right? I'm like touching my brain right now. These, I mean, your little heads, your neurons are still developing and forming. We're essentially like the guinea pig generation, right? You guys are growing up in a world filled with environmental toxins. Our waters are filled with hormone mimickers, right? A lot of these estrogens in the waters. Who knows what, you know, a lot of these kids now, these women are getting their periods at like age 6, 7, and 8 now. That's way too young. That sets up the entire circadian rhythm of our bodies, right? So all these exposures, and not to mention the genetic modification of our foods that we're eating, the poor quality of our soil, the air quality that we're breathing in, all the plastics in the foods we're eating, all this high fructose corn syrup, that's not what our body's used to, okay? So like glucose, for example, in a fruit, as well as the fructose, gets metabolized in every cell in our body, okay? As opposed to the high fructose corn syrup in sodas and all those like sweet treats. Like we said, just the liver. So your liver has to now process all this extra fructose right here. Also your hormones, also your cholesterol, also things like alcohol, pesticides, medications. It's all in your liver. So no wonder all these kids are having like imbalances because their poor livers can only take so much. The good news is the liver also regenerates itself because it's like a tissue, you can cut some off and it'll regrow back. So there's still, you know, it's not the end of the world, but we need to start cleaning things out. I like to recommend detoxes with my patients a lot to clean out the sludge, you know, because things build up over time. So does that sort of answer your question with the differences? It's very different now than then. And the amount of gluten in our wheat nowadays is over 400 times the amount in the wheat back then. And now, I mean, wheat is the most studied source of gluten, but corn has gluten, wheat, every single grain you can imagine has gluten.
Why is there more gluten now?
Because it makes your bread nice and foamy and airy. It's a really cheap addition. And it makes everything that much more tasty, but it's very allergenic. Like the proteins that make things airy and doughy are what lodge in between our intestinal cells. So now these little bodies are getting exposed to breakdown right here, and the side effects from their meds, it's just all breakdown. Okay, so it sort of like starts a cycle. Okay, let's try another snack. Can anyone guess what all these are? Any of them?
Are they berries?
Yeah, we have some berries, raisins.
Cranberries?
Yeah, there's some cranberries. So try a few of these. Yeah, try a few. There's golden raisins, blueberries, cranberries. Try a few of these. My favorite thing is to add these. Do you have any more plates? I mean,